giving some suggestions, ideas, how the practice of six perfection beneficial in different stages of our existence, from very in ordinary level, in our ordinary day-to-day life, become a beneficial tool to bring fulfillment, happiness, positivity, and all the way up to spiritual benefits, including of higher rebirth, liberations, enlightenment. So now here, to take more more constructive practice of the six paramita, mainly in relation to progress on the Bodhisattva's path, progress on the Bodhisattva's training, to actualize full enlightenment. So there are a few verses that I would like to share. The first verse that I'm reading is from the great Panchen Lama, who is the source of many great sutra and tantric lineages and teachings, including of the one of the most profound Guru Yoga practice in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, in particular the Lama Tsongkhapa tradition, Lama Chepa, Guru Puja. So it says like this: I seek your blessing to complete the perfections of generosity through the guideline teachings of the enhancing the mind that gives without attachment, namely transforming my body, wealth, and collections of virtues over the three times into the object desired by each and every sentient being. So to complete the perfections of generosity, to very much meaning to become Buddha. When any of the practice of six paramita is completed, simultaneously complete entire remaining five paramitas. So if you gain the complete perfections of generosity, which is the first one, that will complete together the remaining five paramitas. Meaning, by completing perfection of generosity, you will achieve Buddhahood. So, in the Bodhisattva's way of practice, the practice of six paramita or six perfection, whenever you practice any one of them, you integrate the rest of the remaining. So, the what you call the higher qualities of the practice of paramita is delivered when each of the paramita has the element of the remaining paramitas. So when you practice practice of generosity, then there has to be practice of morality, practice of joyous effort, practice of patience, practice of concentration, and practice of wisdom. So if you are practicing the number 6, wisdom, that practice too need to have the element of morality, generosity, joyous effort, patience, concentration, and of course the wisdom. So, so when you practice the paramita of generosity in relation to the Bodhisattva's path, then there are certain specific trainings need to be actualized. That also, which in accordance with what Buddha have suggested, Buddha have taught, not just what we ordinary human beings believe that this is the highest standard of generosity. So to progress on the Bodhisattva's path, then in the teachings of the Mahayana Sutra, such like the Maitreya's ornament of Mahayana Sutra, etc. Then the Shantidevas, Bodhisattva Aptacharya, Nagarjuna's precious garland, etc., etc. Many different great Indian pandits, they bring about more elaborate the interpretations of the teachings on this various topic, and accordingly with what Buddha taught in Kanjur, about 100 or more collections of Buddha's teaching. So then there it taught any practice of generosity that has to be done in relation to giving that without attachment. So practice of generosity become pure, or become cause of enlightenment, or become cause of progressing on the Bodhisattva's path, and that has to be done total free of miserliness, total free of attachment. The miserliness is also one aspect of attachment. Attachment to things that you hold back, from sharing with others. So in short, the pure practice of generosity, you need to be free of attachment. Ultimately, here, understanding the attachment is self-centered purposes, for self-centered gain. Means we have to give offerings or charity without any expectation for self-centered purpose. And another way of understanding that is have to do the charity or offerings, practice of generosity, total free of eight worldly concern. Total free of worldly concern, which worldly concerns are summarized within the 8 kind of figures. It's all those attitudes, the worldly concern attitudes are all are demand of self-cherishing thought. It's a demand of ignorant, demand of self-centered ego. So that has to be free in order the practice of generosity become a pure practice of generosity, which will be fruitful cause, progressing on the Bodhisattva's path and resulting the Buddhahood. When it comes to giving in the form of offerings to the higher being, in the form of giving to the humans and to the spirits, or to any needy ones. The object that you give, object that you exercise of giving or charity or generosity, it comes in the form of even a body, your own body, your wealth, and your collections of merits. So in the Bodhisattva's levels of practice of charity, they have come to a point that even you have the capability to give your body in the service of others, even your life completely, dedicating in the needs of others. Mm. And these practices become a very forcible, source of creating a great amount of merit, which require to progress on the path and actualize full enlightenment. So in the Buddhist Mahayanic teachings, emphasize about achieving Buddhahood. It requires 3 countless eons of merit. So little merit is not enough. 3 countless eons of merit. So 3 countless eons of merit is needed to measure by the time, then it is understood. It's so great that it takes 3 countless eons of human lifetimes. So human life of our time, which is about 100 years, that is the period. Maximum people, and that's the main figure, rough figure about human general life. So 100, 3 countless great eons of life it takes in order to accomplish, this 3 great amount of merit to become Buddha. But through the tools of such practice of 6 paramita, even starting from the number 1, the first one, practice of generosity, even come to a position or capability that you can give even your body and your life without any attachment. Then that 3 countless eons of merit can be accomplished even within short very lifetime, maybe within 1 day possible. Within remaining human life, individuals, whatever remaining life they may be, this can be accomplished also. So if one is entered into Arya Bodhisattva's level of path, meaning, whatever we have discussed this morning, on the basis of that, you now mature enough to reach to the level of the last training stage of the ordinary Bodhisattva's path, which is called the path of preparation. Then that path of preparation is accomplished through great training on the basic 6 paramita practices, briefly we discussed this morning. We have enough resources to realize wisdom of emptiness directly. We have enough military resources to actualize the sustainable, bodhicitta, never returning, never degenerating level of bodhicitta. Then, during the period of that ordinary Bodhisattva's training, based on whatever basic, the tools of practice of 6 paramita we discussed before, help us to accomplish the first countless eons of merit within the first path, which is called the path of accumulation. Then that first accumulation of merit will put the practitioner in a position to be fully ready to accomplish the second accumulation, second eonless, the countless eons of merit, by entering into the path of seeing through the tools of path of preparation. And when the Arya Bodhisattva reached to the 7th bhumi, when the cessation by purifying purifying the delusional defilement, as last night we talked briefly, the purifications comes in the form of karma and delusion and obscuration. The most subtle one is obscuration to omniscience. The second one is the delusional obstacles. Then before that is the whatever, the samsaric suffering of the three lordoms, etc., etc. So when the Bodhisattva, Arya Bodhisattva reach to the seven level, you're able to negate the entire delusional obstacles. And when this Bodhisattva achieved the cessation out of eradicating delusion, the Bodhisattva reached the first moment of eight bhumi. When Bodhisattva reached to the first moment of eight bhumi, he or she accomplished second countless eons merit. Then that Bodhisattva now put to a position that quite easily accomplished the third countless eons merit by the most powerful tools of attitude like bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness, which come to a highest standard. Even though up from the first bhumi up to seventh bhumi, also Arya Bodhisattva, and there the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness also same, but the force by the condition that accumulated merit before put that practitioner in the position their wisdom and attitude become the most forceful stage. Because of that, then they will accomplish the third countless eons of merit when they negate the obscurational defilement in the last moment of the 10th bhumi bodhisattva. And when they achieve the cessation, they achieve Buddhahood, path of no more learning. And this journey can be done within one session, within one morning, within one day, within one month, within 1 year, within next 5 years, or next three countless eons of life. So the how quick you accomplish the Buddhahood by accomplishing the three countless eons of merit is very much determined by the quality and the quality of the practice of six paramita. And there comes, we exercise from very beginning in the initial level, like what we discussed this morning. Share what you have, share the foods and medicines and shelter, and be generous through your body, speech, and mind. Like speaking kindly, carrying positive mind, and dedication to merit, blah blah blah. But then when it comes to dedication of material gift, that you come to a position that you give everything, but without yourself becoming homeless. Give everything without becoming yourself homeless. Giving everything that without yourself become destitute, hunger, etc. So all these practices has to be practiced and accordingly with the capability that what you have. And the capabilities are very much defined by the merit again. The meritorious, the Buddhist term merits. So the richness and poverty not defined by the great amount of things that you have. In Buddhist understanding, is that defined by the amount of merit you have. When you have merit, all the needs you have timely. Whatever you need is always there. When you don't have merit, even you are billionaire, you may not able to utilize that $1 billion when you need. There are many rich people, they are very rich in assets. And there are many assets that lock up that until when you need, you don't have the resources. There are many rich people die before even manage to use even a partial of their wealth. Then there are a lot of income, but then at the same time, a lot of expenses. You have many resources for income, big companies, but then equally, there's so much expenses that there's no kind of enoughness. There's no enough. This is enough. I don't have to, I don't need any extra more. Some individuals, they have no resources, like financial resources, which can even support for their medicine, but they never get sick. They hardly get sick. So they have no expenses. They don't need that much money, that much insurance to take care. When you get sick, you don't get sick. But there are some, who have so much of insurance, but you have so much expenses, etc., etc. So these are all understood as a play of merits. And in relation to happiness, when you have full of merit, then the merits are the real sources of your happiness, especially merit of virtues. The result of virtuous karmas are happiness, and result of some more dharma virtues, spiritual virtues are even greater source of more lasting happiness. Including dharma merits are the resources for even happiness of the enlightenment, liberation, which is called everlasting state of happiness, isn't it? So when someone don't have the wealth of merit, then even how richness in material abundantness won't able to have the heart of fulfillment or joy of satisfaction, joy of like enough, have everything, So the in particularly to have an inner peace, to enjoy genuine happiness. In Buddhist understanding, most of the essential happiness are not true happiness. And most of the essential pleasure, essential happiness is dependent on the external circumstances, external factor, material factors, more to the conceptual kind of environment. And worse than that, it's more dependent on the material environment. And these are understood as suffering. In Buddhist understanding, these are included within the suffering of change. So true happiness is the inner peace are the true happiness. Contentment are the true happiness. Fulfillment in relation to virtue are understood as a true happiness. And this basis of happiness understood as it carry the potential of increasing if you rejoice in them, if you cultivate them. Even if you remember them one more time, the happiness increases, the fulfillment increases. And very much of the inner peace, fulfillment in virtue, etc., comes result of accumulations of merit. So this is what Buddhist teaching understood. It comes out of merit. So when you have enough merit, whether materially you have abundance or not, your heart filled with happiness, inner tranquility. When you have a merit, especially merit of Dharma, genuinely practice such as the Dharma, like such as practice of generosity, etc., the generosity, practice of generosity without attachment, then it is the karma that you commit is the meritorious karma, virtuous karma. And this acts as a cause of true happiness, you know. So the true happiness comes in your way in the form of very much completeness in your needs. So whether materially that you have resources or not, that you feel your life is fulfilled. You have everything. And that kind of like a settledness, that kind of enoughness, you know, is the inner tranquility, which you can call as inner peace, which is also you can call as a true happiness. You see, and it can be lasting. If you continue to cultivate, it will last long time. But rest of the other essential happiness, even how much we wish it to be last, it will change. You see, so anyway, so the Bodhisattvas, an example, you know, I was talking about that you need to be confident, you need to be readiness that to do the practice of generosity in accordance with your capability. And the capabilities are, again, you know, to remind, is very much the confidence in your merit. So an example, there's one great master called Aryadeva. So Aryadeva was put onto test by compassionate Buddha Chenrezig. So he was then already Bodhisattva, and he's already Arya Bodhisattva. And that's why I call Arya Deva. You know, given as Arya is someone already realized emptiness, whose bodhicitta is already stable. But still he need to progress, you know, along the 10 bhumis. 2 more great accumulation of merit has to be still accumulated. So he was doing retreat, and one day, you know, he came out from the retreat hut, and at the roadside where he's supposed to walk through, there's one elderly lady, blind, both eyes blind elderly lady was begging there. So actually it happened to be, you know, they emanated by compassion for the Chenrezig to test his practice. So this elderly lady begged for an eyeball. So of course, Aryadeva was, you know, training in bodhicitta, great compassion, and of course he felt so much, you know, compassion. He said, "I have 2 eyes, you know, and this is the right time for me to give at least one, and I still can use my another eye." So he take out his one eyeball and give to the elderly lady, and she was actually already ready with all the tools. She was ready with one rock in front of her, and there's another small rock is ready there. So the moment she received, she crushed the eyeball onto the rock like that. So the Ayadeva saw that, and Ayadeva, oh no, you know, I mean, if he's not going to use my eyeball, at least I can have 2, you know. Now it's not useful for her and not useful for me. Then since then, Ayadeva only had 1 eye. But if his level of confidence in his merit, training in bodhicitta, then there's no sense of regret. Whatever the action, since you have done your job of giving, that's your own training. In a very, very strict kind of practice of giving, you don't even think about you know, what kind of result it will be there. You know, you give completely total sense of giving, you know, total letting go of attachment. That's why in the text talking about without attachment, that you have to give. Then for your progress, that is good enough. whether the person will use rightly or wrongly. So at the beginner level, then there's a great deal of having the wisdom, because we are not strong enough, in the merit. So in order to make sure that we don't regret of our resources giving away, we make sure that the receiver will use properly. So there's a great deal of applications of applying wisdom together with the compassion, together with the practice of generosity. But when you reach to that kind of level of practice, then as long as there's a full pure force from the giver side, and that already fulfill a great deal of purposes, the benefit out of it. So anyway, since Ayadeva, still, even as I am Bodhisattva, but not fully matured in his merit, then there's a sense of little regret came in. Then he lost his one eye. But if he had the strength of a merit in the bodhicitta, then that understood in the story that he will gain back his eye. You see, so in the statement that Buddha have given in the sutra, Jibe Longjo Timgide, it is a natural law. By giving, you receive abundance. By giving, the abundance is the result of giving, result of generosity. And generosity comes in the form of offerings. Generosity comes in the form of giving to the needy ones. You see. So, but the giver side, if there's no genuine practice of giving, then how much you give is just loss. Even though there may be some benefit, but there's no benefit as what the genuine practice of generosity has, which is the more you give, the more you receive. As we discussed it this morning, if you want to be happy, bring happiness to others. If you want to enjoy love, you give love to others. If you want to enjoy abundance of wealth, then share the wealth with others. If you want to be happy, then bring happiness to others. If you want to get enlightened, then create causes and conditions of enlightenment to others. You see? So, like that. So anyway, so that's one example, what it means that we need to do the practices in accordance with your confidence in your merits. Then, like such as there's another example. In Lhasa, the Chokhang temple, there's one nomad that regular devotee come to the Chokhang temple and make a light offering, butter light offering. So it's nomad, many yaks, and he has devotion in the Buddha, and he has some compassion to his animals. So the first butter that he gained, first butter he obtained, he will bring to the Chokhang temple to make a butter light offering. So he bring the butter and pass to the keeper, that please make butter light offering. But this keeper never used the butter to make a butter light offering. So there's the pilgrim who, so there's another regular who always, see what's happening with the butter. So that person saw that the butter is supposed to make a butter light offering. The temple keeper actually make a butter tea. Very, because it's the first, yak butter. I mean, the yak actually is a male one. The female one is called drift. So female yak butter. So he make butter. He make very delicious butter tea, and he drink everything. He never make light offering. So then another devotee, one day wait for that nomad, coming to the temple and tell him, hey, if you want to make butter light offering, better you make yourself. Don't pass to the keeper. Because I saw up to today all your butter never made light offering. And the keeper, he drink tea, butter tea. Then the nomad told this guy, I don't care. I've done my part. I have achieved all the merits. Whether he throw away, whether he drink tea, whether he offer butter, I create the merit of offering butter light to the temple. That's it. So even though this story is in relation to that ordinary nomad, but he's not an ordinary. I think his level of merit in understanding of the teaching, understanding of the practice of the generosity is very high level. And he received all the benefits. Now, another example is that one of the previous life of Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, called the Bodhisattva Great-Hearted, Chanchu Sempa Nyingdokchen, which you find the story in the Golden Light Sutra. I think chapter 8, I think, is Tigress. Chapter 6 or chapter 8. So it's in the Golden Light Sutra, the story in relation to the tigress. So that Bodhisattva, one of the favorable life I was sharing yesterday, Buddha has 500, in the Jataka tells 500 favorable reincarnations and 500 unfavorable reincarnations. So one of the favorable reincarnation was that Bodhisattva called the Bodhisattva Great-Hearted. So this story happened in Nepal, in the Namo Buddha. He was then as a prince, and he was accompanied by also one of the previous reincarnation of Maitreya. Then the level of the Shakyamuni Buddha's previous life, Bodhisattva Great-Hearted, is much more mature. So two of them traveling through the Namo Buddha jungle, and they encountered these 5 hungry tigress family, mother and the 4 cubs, about to die of starvation. And the Bodhisattva Maitreya is not he understood his level of merit, that is not up to that he can make the charity of his body right now here. But he has so much compassion that he went to look for food. But then the Bodhisattva Great-Hearted, the Shakyamuni Buddha's reincarnation, previous reincarnation, his maturity in the merit of bodhicitta is that arrive that he can able to make charity of his body and the life right there. And also that is one of the action that sweetened his journey for enlightenment. Understood like that. So he made a charity. First he cut the thigh from the meat from the thigh, and by the power of the intense bodhicitta and compassion, that the hungry tiger not there to eat the meat, fresh meat. Now can you imagine hungry tiger, and some more with the cubs, and fresh meat. That's without any hesitation will run, isn't it? But not there. Then he made an aspiration that here, you have to consume it, you have to have it, and I'm giving this with absolute total letting go of attachment. And because of that, because of the purity of the motivation to act of giving my body to you, instead of creating negative karma of causing life for myself, and also committing a negative relationship, you become the reason to cause my life. Rather, you will satisfy your hunger with the charity of material gift, the body, and that will create a meritorious resources when I become enlightened. When I come to the southern world to turn the wheel of Dharma, you 5 family will be the first 5 disciples. So when Buddha came to India and he was traveling through Saranath, and his first turning wheel of Dharma was taught to these 5 Brahmin who are the reincarnation of this 5 tiger family. So when you are up to that level, so even you give your life, if you give your body, instead of creating negative karma, you create such a level of great merits, great meritorious results, including it cause that bodhisattva to enlighten faster. And not only that, able to be the liberator of these 5 families in their next reincarnation, in their later reincarnation. You see, so so here simply meaning that we will come to even to that level, in order to bring about the perfections of generosity and any form of generosity from the very beginning level of training up to that level of training. One of the elements has to be there is no attachment, no self-expectation. So through this view of the even this the nomad story, because we do a lot of charities, especially you all do a lot of material charities, medicinal charities, food charities, uh, uh, charity of your time, blah blah blah. But then sometimes, I think in the ordinary language we say we burn out, or say I regret. Now I doubt, I mean to give for that, but don't know whether it happened this way or that way. So, and even though we had the opportunity to, accumulate such a vast merit and sweeten our path to enlightenment, but because of the quality from the giver side is not intact, then a lot of great practices will be ruined and lost opportunity, But if we able to do that from the very beginner level, even you give just 1 hour of time in the service of Dharma, in the service of sentient beings' happiness, even just 1 single cent, to relieve the hunger and suffering of sentient beings. If you do that with total kind of like a selfless way, that's why, as mentioned earlier, you need even from the first practice of the 6 paramita, in the Bodhisattva's way, you need to have the element of all the 6 paramita, including the number 6, which if you have the element of number 6, the wisdom, then there's no self-centered reasons. There's no ego in it, there's no attachment into it, So when you have the wisdom of no self, then there's no attachment. You see? So even we have not realized yet, when we practice the charity, it need to be adorned with the 3 spheres of the emptiness. It taught, adorned with the 3 spheres of the, dedicated in the 3 spheres of emptiness. When we even the motivation, even starting when we set the motivation, understood the ultimate nature of the giver and the substance that you give and the purpose that you give, understood in the nature of lack of inherent existence, lack of substantial existence. If the nature of yourself, receiver, and the practice lacking of substantial existence, there's nothing to be attached. There's nothing out there to be attached and grasped, isn't it? So then, even at the end, the dedication, the giving, the giver, and the receiver understood in the nature of lack of substantial existence, lack of inherent existence. When you have, many of you have already studied 8 verses of thought transformation by Katapa Geshe Tamba. Is one of the, the most concentrated practice of Bodhisattva's attitude. There are 8 verses. The initial 4 or 5 verses in relation to training bodhicitta. And at the end, the final verses is about the practice of three spheres of the emptiness wisdom. In order, all the practices of the attitude not to dilute with the eight worldly concern, to become a pure dharma, to become a pure cause of enlightenment, and always the emptiness wisdom is the one that protect from the leakage. Protect from the leakage, having the stain of the worldly concern, which initiated by self-grasping ignorance and self-cherishing attitude. You see, so as mentioned earlier, if our practice in 6 parameters are in a high standard quality, then enlightenment can be possible even within this very session. Can be possible within your period of 1 week retreat. But the quality has to be there. The quality is the one that defines, So the definition of generosity means heart of miserliness, giving with the heart of free from miserliness, or free from the heart of attachment. Small or big, even the practice of the needed to give body like that. Then collections of merit. Giving the collections of merits. All the merits that we accumulated now in the past, including of all the merits that are going to accumulate in the future, we can use as the tools to actualize merits in relation to practice of charity, practice of generosity. You can dedicate all the merits to all the Arya Bodhisattvas, simply surpass their Arya path and bring effective benefit to sentient beings. We can dedicate to all these merits to the gurus, spiritual gurus, for them to succeed in their spiritual deeds. We can make all this merit as an offering to all the 3-time Buddhas to please their heart. When we create merit, we create causes of happiness. And that's what 3-time Buddhas and Bodhisattvas wish for us. So whenever we create merit, they are pleased. So we can take this as an offering. Also create the merit of generosity. Then we can dedicate the merit for the happiness of sentient beings. For the happiness of any other sentient being. Start from your family members and rest of the 6 realm sentient beings. We create merit through physical virtuous conduct, through verbal virtuous conduct, mental virtuous conduct, physical virtuous conduct, like such as having hand in action to the needy ones, in relation to spiritual practice like prostrations, circumambulations of holy objects, etc., etc. Verbal merits, reciting prayers, mantras, aspirations, and mental, accumulation of merit through meditating on love, compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, any dharma topics, and it creates great resources of, meritorious energy, meritorious accumulations, and that you can dedicate wholeheartedly, sincerely, for the cause of numberless sentient beings' happiness. Even we can dedicate this to ourselves, our own benefit, but free from the attachment. Very important. So there's a fine line there. We dedicate merit for ourselves. There are danger of becoming the demand of self-cherishing attitude. So in order not to be that, rather be a pure dedication of merit, which will also serve as a cause of enlightenment. then there has to be free from attachment, free from worldly concern. So the way to do that is an example. So may this, marriage be the complete cause for myself to have a good health, long life, happiness, so that I have an intact, basis for me to practice more virtues, and that all dedicate for the swift attaining of the state of enlightenment for the benefit of the rest of the numberless sentient beings. So for that, you eat right food. You spend your money for taking care of yourself. Everything become a pure practice of generosity. It's not a selfish practice. It is an altruistic practice because you dedicate for the benefit of all sentient beings enlightenment. And you let's say the material resources you spend for you to be happy, because I want to be happy for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, to bring the positive energy that we discussed this morning. If we carry positive energy, how much positivity that you can contribute to the well-being of others. So including the well-being of others in your dedication, even those direct actions are actually about fulfilling needs of just yourself, also can be practice of the Bodhisattva's way of life, to achieve the causes of enlightenment like that. So then there is another verse in relation to this practice of generosity from the 37th practice of the Bodhisattva by the Bodhisattva Tongme Sangpo. It says, when those who want enlightenment must give even their body, there's no need to mention external things. Therefore, without hope for return or any fruition, give generously. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So there's in according with the Paramita Sutra, like such as giving life and giving body, even as a a living person's body in as a servant to other beings' needs, only conduct when there's meritorious and virtuous environments are intact. Of course, like what the teaching says, that if we want to achieve enlightenment, even our body need to be given up. But there's also a teaching. It's emphasized that as earlier mentioned, you need to be mature enough in your merits, and anything that won't regret you, won't have any element of negative emotion afterwards. Then you can do that like that. So the generosity here, there are three kinds of generosity in relation to the Bodhisattva's path. The first one is giving material gifts. Second one is the giving protection from fear, the generosity of protection from fear. Then third one is the giving Dharma. So the first one is the easy to understand. The second one, the giving protections from fear, such as practicing animal liberation. An example, saving a life, someone whose life is in danger. That is what it means. Giving protection from fear, and anyone that who there are beings who are protectorless, who are in danger. Then that you be their protector, you be their rescue. Um, um, so these are what it means. So even let's say in the family, if someone going through old age and sickness and disabled, uh, uh, their position is, fear of no help, fear of disability, uh, uh, fear of loneliness, uh, fear of incapability, etc. And yourself being in the service to care for them, to be their extended hand, um, helping them, uh, 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 to fulfill their needs. That also, practice in relation to giving protection from fear. Someone may be going through um, uh, emotional crisis that bring them into a great fear of, whatever reason that can be, and you're there to, to console them and be the emotional support, and make them feel, that you have help. I'm there for you. All these are great practice of charity. So charity is not just material gift. You know, mm. So of course we will very much practice this kind of generosity of yourself being help in those difficult positions, in the environment of loved one, the family, friends. But sometimes, we may not aware that we can reach out to the strangers, and in the vulnerable time, maybe we may need to reach out even to the enemies who've been harming you, who've been disturbing you, but now they are in a vulnerable position. Now they are in fear. Now they are in danger. And in the practice of the Bodhisattva, in the practice in relation to generosity, then you extend your help even to those who've been causing harm to you all the time. But now that person is in need of protection, and you can become the protection. And in our life, there are many opportunities. Some intentionally, unintentionally, cause inconvenience to your life, misunderstandings in your life, blah 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 blah. But then you happen to be in the same place, maybe in the same neighborhood, or yeah. So then, as a someone that who aspire to follow Bodhisattva's way of life, then uh, you know you establish a new relationship, very positive relationship, and you become the protection for that people, and to the strangers, to the animals, and especially I think in the West, in Australia, maybe especially in Blue Mountain, I don't know, that you offer this practice of generosity to those animals, your pets, your dogs, your cats, maybe snakes, kangaroos. So, I mean, you just give them, give them your care. You become their protector. You become their parent, like more than that. And some more, as a practitioner who have this fortunate of meeting the Dharma, understanding the power of mantras, understanding the power of your pure qualities, of virtues, prayers, dedications, etc. Then not only protecting them from the ordinary kind of harms, helplessness, but you're also protecting them from future lifetimes benefit, future lifetimes danger, like danger of falling them into the lower realms, danger of they continue to remain in the animal realm, continue to remain in the sixth realm samsaric existence, and someone that who have the dharma, wisdom, and attitude and understanding and aspirations of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And you want them to be enlightened, not just be free from three lower realms or free from just a samsara, but you want them to be free from all the limitations and actualize enlightenment. And now, you protect them even through the tools of dharma. You see, like that. So many opportunities to practice. And if we know that, we are in that, environment, and you are put into a position to practice that, then you can even rejoice. You see, when you have the heart of rejoice, then the remaining paramita, like such as joyous effort, will be there, etc. Basically all the remaining elements are there, like that. Then giving dharma, of course, if you study well, then whatever knowledge you have, then you can share with a skillful language. Not necessarily that person can be already Buddhist. The person can be just your common friend from other faith, from maybe free thinker, but with the skillful tools of using right tone of language, but with the intentions of liberating them from samsara and abiding them in a state of enlightenment, then the conversation is always very much initiated or based on the Buddhist principles, without even necessary to mention this is Buddhist teaching, and not necessary to use this quite a heavy language. You have much more tools. I have no tools. I have no choice. I try my very best to make it simple, but very hard. Make it use this this common language, because I'm not familiar. So whatever like those language that I learned from Buddhist texts, so I have to throw that all in, But your language is so rich, and your exposure is so rich. So you very much have all the skillful tools to benefit other sentient beings, benefit all kind of sentient beings, all kind of human beings, from all walks of life. But with bodhicitta intention, you can able to offer the generosity of dharma, and that is regarded among all the practice of generosity. Generosity of dharma is understood as the highest form of generosity, the most beneficial form of generosity. The generosity that not only help them now, but help them rest of their existence. Not only give them benefit or the temporal benefit, but also offer the benefit, including of enlightenment. Especially if you do that with in the altruistic practice, in the Bodhisattva's way of practice. You see, yeah. So as I mentioned this morning, sometimes at the moment two persons get together, our conversation will start with gossiping about someone's problem, someone's limitation, danger like that, isn't it? Not everybody do that, but that's very danger. But someone who exposed to this kind of teaching, you have so much of topic of conversation. You have a great topic. You have so many topics. Even you talk hours and hours and days, the topic won't finish. You see, and you can have conversations about love, unconditional love, boundless compassion, bodhicitta, maybe bodhicitta, maybe not necessarily need to mention the name if someone is not familiar with this term. But compassion is like everybody knows. Love is everybody knows. Love is appreciated by everybody, and boundless love, of course, uh, surely will appreciate, but not many people familiar with it. Honestly, not many people discuss about boundless love, boundless compassion, uh, boundless kindness, etc., etc. Like you say. So, having a conversation, that possibility. If we nurture our heart, our heart can be in the quality of boundless love, boundless compassion, uh, and these are very, very valuable conversation. Very powerful conversation, isn't it? An example. But then, you know, the topic on emptiness is so powerful and most beneficial again. But then again, no need to talk about emptiness, but they talk about like interconnectivity, inter relationship, how things exist, coexist in a way. You're talking about emptiness. The moment you talk about cause and effect, what kind of cause will bring what kind of result. And we just like talk about where the world now is. Many parts of the world, there's a lot of conflict, a lot of disasters. Then try to figure it out. What are the causes of this? And try to trace back and try to understand how this different element works. Even from the scientific point of view, uh, every result has its right causes. Wrong cause will not produce right result. Others cause will not produce some other result. You need to have a similar cause that which will bring a similar kind of result. So the misery is a result of something which is harmful action, and which is also so obvious. But if we go deeper level, then the conversation can even lead to the root cause is, in fact, it comes to an illusion, ignorant, and these are very big conversation, but very meaningful conversation. And this conversation can be done with the normal language, not necessarily even have to mention about emptiness, but you are deep discussion on emptiness. And this is very enlightening, and this can be greatest form of practice of generosity, isn't it? I mean, just complaining about the world problem won't solve, that doesn't, yeah, without serving the root cause, the ignorance. And also, as I discussed briefly yesterday, the world peace, like happiness of every being, like have to start from ourselves, isn't it? Individual level. Then every individual practice that way, then world peace is possible, enlightenment is possible. So in order to enlighten others, first you need to enlighten. In order to bring happiness to others, first you need to be happy. This is realistic. This is the truth. This is emptiness. You see, in order to, bring peace to others, bring peace in others, we have to be peace within. First, we have to be peace within our own emotion. And these are beneficial, practical. But how many people logically come to understanding of this? How many people? People may talk about it, but how many people say, oh, this is really how things should work? And you start to implement, to get to work. But how many people will do that? Isn't it? So through dialogue, through serious talking, that's the way things start. It make it very serious, isn't it? You're serious looking at me, it really make me serious about whatever I talk. So my serious looking at you also, hope that some kind of seriousness takes place in you. So anyway, Yes. Yeah, so that way then, while enjoying nice coffee, and especially, if the weather is good in Blue Mountains or in these mountain, beautiful places in Australia, with a nice, everywhere you've got coffee, but the coffee becomes so meaningful. you know, Coffee become a great deal of practice of generosity, and and most likely then your coffee will be also reciprocated practice of that person will be sponsor your coffee, will be pay for your coffee because you're so generous in sharing wisdom. Yeah, the moment you start to share great wisdom, then at the end, oh, the coffee is on me. Uh, uh, so then, yeah, if it genuinely you do that, I think most likely the coffee will be paid off. Uh, Even you need to pay, then it's your opportunity to create more generosity. uh, so anyway, mm, so then the second one, you see, the perfection practice of morality. Um, so it says in Lama Sherpa, I seek your blessing to complete the perfections of moral discipline, working for the sake of sentient beings, in acting virtuous deeds, and not transgressing the bound of the patimoksha, bodhicitta, and tattvic vows, even at the cost of my life. Mm. So, on the basis of the the common, ethical disciplines, uh, the ethical, moral ethic of a good human being, like just basic human, call it basic human value, uh, such as uh, you know loving and kind and compassionate. It can be just towards your loved one, but it's still good quality. And um, an ethic of uh, at least intentionally reframing causing harm to others. That's basic moral ethics. uh, in fact, the 10 virtues are, yeah, basic moral ethics. There are 3 in relation to the body, 4 in relation to the speech, then 3 in relation to the heart. Uh, Good human being, sensible human being, uh, uh, I think will refrain from, killings, have sense of feeling about others' feeling. Yeah. Then refraining from uh, stealing, mm, uh, sensible, good human being. They will not do stealing. Uh, mm, then sensible, good human being. When they're in relationship, they won't engage into sexual misconduct. They be ethical. They be loyal to their own partner, their own husband, wife. Um, uh, these are basic moral conduct. Uh, then no lying, no will refrain from no divisive speech. You know, good people, sensible people always try to find way to make peace. Among the people. You will not uh, always be the cause of others' fight, others' separations, etc. Mm. Then good human being, sensible, you will refrain from talking bad thing about others, gossip about bad thing about others. You will try your very best to do that. mm, then yeah, then we refrain from expressing harsh words. You will try your very best to refrain from expressing harsh words. To be yeah, to harsh word to at least with your loved one. Due to our habitual of the past, sometimes we become harsh. But but when we are mindful, uh, when we are in our senses, we will not, we will refrain from being harsh, isn't it? Then three, from the heart, covetousness, uh, you know, selfish, self-centered, in the expense of others' suffering. Try to gain your pleasures, gain your happiness. You won't do that. Good human being won't do that. Then miserly, what do you call miserliness. It's a heart of ill will. Good human being, will never appreciate to have ill will to others, because that is not nice feeling. That haunt you yourself. Malice. Yeah, that's malice. Yes. So so this is the second one, of the heart. Then the last one is the wrong view. Uh, you know, uh, those of the religious believers, they have this view of trusting to some divine beings, like those are theistic believers, and due to that, they observe a lot of good conduct. And those of non-theistic religious practitioners, like Buddhists, who believe in karma, always have a consideration of karmic law, cause, and effect, and you will refrain from committing wrong actions in our very best, especially committing wrong actions in relation to uh, uh, others, causing sufferings, etc. So I have at least a view of respecting, right view of respecting karmic law, cause, and effect. Those of the theistic believers, then at least, respecting the respect, the honoring the gods, the creators, etc. Even those of non-believers, free thinkers, uh, you know, uh, they have the correct view, uh, uh, to uphold that how to say, the peaceful and wise nature of self, wise nature of your conduct, even though they may not believe in karma or creator, whatever. So these are basic ethics. So on this basis, then uh, who want to really seriously bring the benefit of Buddhist path, then there are three moral levels, three levels of moral exercises or practices that you can integrate. And those three levels of moral exercises or moral practices are called, the first one is the individual liberation precepts. Second one is called the Bodhisattva precepts. Third one is called the tantric precepts. So individual liberation precepts start from refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Then the basic moral precept of having refuge or going refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha is, if you cannot benefit sentient beings' well-being, at least refraining from causing harm to the sentient being, even it can be just one sentient being or many sentient beings. There's a basic precept. And those values are built on the foundations of the common moral precept, as mentioned before, like such as the 10 virtues. Then there are many levels, even in the individual liberation precepts, that can be progressed can be advanced, can be advanced from the refuge to the now observing, practicing lay vows, lay precepts, lay moral ethical precepts, which are called the 5 lay vows. Again, the 5 lay vows, there are a lot of similarity to the foundational moral disciplines of 10 virtue, like no killing, no stealing, no lying, no sexual misconduct, no intoxication. So these are the 5 lay vows. On top of taking the refuge, can progress gradually. If you are not ready to practice all the 5 lay vows, lay precepts, at least you practice seriously the first one, no killing. Or if someone is in relationship, both the partner and the practitioner of following Buddha's teaching, then maybe the first one could be a practice of no sexual misconduct. Like great security for the strengthening of the relationship, to have confidence, to have respect, uh, you know, uh, in relation to the protection that you have, the ethical protections of no sexual misconduct. And from there, you build a trust, you build a respect. Can imagine how much harmony that will bring, how much trust that will develop. There are a lot of problems in the lay community coming in relation to distrust, misconduct, or sexual misconduct. That so many relationships are destroyed, harmed. Even if they are in relationship, but so much unhappiness. Supposed to be 2 people coming together to have more happiness, but more trouble, more distrust, more suffering. It's very much thing to do with the morality in relation to sexual misconduct. You see. So in the lay community, the precept of no intoxication. Intoxication here talking about, based on the teaching, talks about, it's basically mentioned about alcohol, tobaccos, that whichever classify as an intoxication like that. So it's basically mentioned about that. So the alcohol is a bit hard because some people have a social life, in a business environment. Like if you don't drink, then you are out from the business. I hear some people that I took this vow and I lost all my clients. I lost all my clients. I lost business. I become poor because of the precept. So anyway, but then again, that shouldn't be the obstacle to not to take the precept, because the precepts are so precious and so beneficial now and all futures. So like His Holiness, occasionally used to say, he heard that in the West, maybe somewhere in Switzerland or Europe, that glass of wine is very, very good for heart. So if that's really true, then he said, not get drunk, but then you still practice the precept, but then, maybe that you take as a medicine, if that's really true, if that's really is, if that's really fact, but that is only to those who have no ways to put aside, it is like your livelihood, but the understanding the preciousness of precept and you still want to take, then there are such excuses maybe there by someone like His Holiness who have, Dharma authorities, but otherwise, in the teaching, in the sutra, it is very clearly emphasized. If you want to take this precept, then Buddha said in the Vinaya, if you follow, if you follow me, then there is a transgression, even tasting dew of the rice straw. You drink the rice straw and have a dew. They say, if you follow, then it has a transgression. It has a negative impact. So Buddha also mentioned like that. You see, so the main thing, the main reason is Buddha care for our liberation. Buddha care for our enlightenment. Buddha care for uh, you know our well-being. Buddha aspire as quick as possible we get liberated, and the quickest path is the tantric path, utilization of the clear light onto the path. Uh, uh, so in order to utilize the clear light onto the path, then our subtle consciousness has to be clear, free from hallucination. In order to be clear from that, then our subtle chakras and chana has to be, uh, you know, free from intoxication. Then our nervous system has to be, our gross nervous system has to be free from intoxication. So there's a relation, this why it's so strict about intoxication is, being so harmful, because it affects to the journey of actualizing clear light path. So unless you already achieve high level of samadhi, that you can turn alcohol into a pure water, then no problem. That there's a saying that some condemn eating meat. Then there's one movie from a Chinese movie called the Mad Monk movie. So this mad monk is monk, but then always eat in a drumstick, chicken drumstick. So everybody criticize him, and also he drink alcohol with a small kind of like round this fruit bottle like that. So then while he's like acting as a drunk, and he says, "You drink and I drink is different. You can also drink like me if you can manage to." It's not about drink. It's a talk about the meat. It's like after eating the drumstick, if the drumstick can ever revive into a full chicken, the live chicken, and then he said there's no karma of eating the drumstick. So anyway, why I'm saying this, sometimes those who have access to tantric practice, then there are usage of 5 meats and 5 nectars. Those are very profound practice. Only through high level of samadhi, able to transform them. Otherwise, for ordinary mind, ordinary practitioner, it harms. Then there's one example illustrated in the sutra that is emphasizing how negative impact that intoxication of such as alcohol can bring. So illustrated by this story, there's one monk, pure Vinaya monk, very serious Vinaya monk. Then there's one goat. Then there's one lady. So this lady asked the monk to disrobe with her, to have a sexual relationship with her. Then the monk said, how no way, I'm monk. This will lose my vow, and that's great sin. But then he was put into a position that only there's 3 options. Either you disrobe with me, or either you kill the goat. Then another option is she brought a bottle of alcohol, or you drink the alcohol. So he thought, how can as a monk can kill a goat? No way. It's not possible. No, there's no way. So maybe, anyways, just drink a little bit. I think that will be okay. So after he drink, he commit all 3 together. So this is an example, illustrated how intoxication that can lose our senses, then that will lead to many other negativities. It's like that. So time is over here. Time almost over. Okay. So yes, so 5 lay precepts. Then after that, then those who wish, those who have the environment, then there are furthermore individual liberation precepts and moral precepts can be practiced, like such as the ordination. So after that is the ordination, moral precepts, three ordination, three to be abandoned, three to be adopted. Then novice ordination, 36 precepts to be uphold, 36, in relation to body, speech, and mind to be abandoned. And then fully ordination, 253 precepts to be upheld. So all these are opportunity to perfect the practice of morality. Then, but the ordination precepts are uncommon to the ordained people. The common precepts are the five lay precepts. Even though the ordained sanghas, they don't have the labeling of 5 lay precepts because they are no more lay person, but it's included within the precept of refuge and precept of the rest of the remaining individual liberation precept. So then the refuge precept is a common. Then Bodhisattva precepts. So Bodhisattva moral precepts is a common to both ordained and lay practitioner. So when you practice Bodhisattva precepts, so there are 18 root vows, root precepts to uphold, 46 secondary root vows to uphold. And if you go through one by one, it's amazingly precious. It really kind of put yourself in the position that all your actions of 3 doors kind of like protect from committing so many harms that which can so many actions that which can ruin your own happiness and bring suffering to others, etc., etc. So and this is a high level of practice. When you practice the Bodhisattva precepts, the main exercise is based on the practice of 6 paramita. As I mentioned before, those who want to practice Bodhisattva's path, the taking Bodhisattva precept is the entry into the actual training of Bodhisattva's way of life. And if you aspire to do that, the best way to lead you to there is practicing this practice of 6 paramita in the beginner level. Those who already have those precepts, and the 6 paramita is the one that which will make you great progress like that. So in short, what it means, what is really the essence? If you need to say in a few words, how to uphold the Bodhisattva vows. Bodhisattva vows has an aspiration Bodhisattva vows and engaging Bodhisattva vows. So how to uphold? So uphold in the practice of 6 paramita. So if you are practicing 6 paramita, you are upholding the precepts of the Bodhisattva vows purely. And if the Bodhisattva vows transgress, how to refresh them? By strengthening the practice of 6 paramita. You see, so your Bodhisattva vows are really, like really in the highest standard of development is happening, and you gain so much of confidence in your level of progress, and now you want to progress even faster. How to do that? Strengthening the practice of 6 paramita. Then not only sweeping the path in Bodhisattva's vehicle, but you also want to sweep the path through adopting the tantric practice to actualize the purpose of Dharma within one very short lifetime, to integrate the tantric path. What will make us mature? What will put us in a position of maturity to engage in tantra? quality practice of the six paramita. That will define, you see. Then, while practicing the tantric, the tantric precepts, there are 5 dhyani Buddhas. The precept in relation to 5 dhyani Buddha, precept in relation to the Samaya Guru, the Guru Yoga practice and daily yoga practice, like such as how we describe in the succession Guru Yoga practices. How would you define that you can uphold the practice of 5 dhyani Buddha, the Samaya in relation to 5 dhyani Buddha? And what will make progress? What will bring progress in that practice? Again, the quality of the 6 paramita. So 6 paramita is the thing. Is the thing. You see? Okay. So then there's another verse from the present practice. It says, without ethic, you can't accomplish your own well-being. So wanting to accomplish others is laughable. Therefore, without worldly aspiration, safeguard your ethical discipline. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. There are 3 types of morality. The first one is called the morality of abstaining from misbehaviors or negativities, or morality of abstaining from negative doings, negative actions. Second one is morality of integrating virtues. It is also called as a morality of gathering virtues. Then the third one is the morality of working for the welfare of other sentient beings. So, if your heart is always motivated by bodhicitta, you are in a high level of moral principles. You are in the Bodhisattva's moral principles. So if you're always wanting to benefit sentient beings, means your bodhicitta is lively. The highest standard morality. Even you wish to help someone else genuinely, selflessly, even that also is expressions of compassion, which is also in relation to the moral precept of the Bodhisattva's conduct. You see, so you can see every one of you here already practicing all of this. Just kind of giving these titles, the names. You see, morality of abstaining from negativities. All of you are doing, greatly, in a great deal of practice. And morality of gathering virtues. All of you are doing in a great deal. You've been doing whole life. And no doubt, especially after met Buddha Dharma, that's your main meaning of life. That means gathering not only ordinary virtue, you're gathering Dharma virtue. Dharma also, not just ordinary Dharma. Ordinary means those, ordinary comparing between the Bodhisattva path and non-Bodhisattva's path. So Bodhisattva path is a special path, great path. We call the Mahayani practice, altruistic practice. You see, so not only practicing Dharma, that which is just for your benefit, or small benefit of higher rebirths, or self-liberation. You are practicing Dharma, that which is for the benefit of the rest of the numberless sentient beings. So you're gathering great, also perfected virtue, and abiding accordingly with what Buddha asked us to do. There's a statement by Buddha, isn't it? Never commit non-virtue. Commit only virtue, but there's in the context of Mahayana Dharma, commit perfect virtues. Commit only perfect virtues. It's talking about committing the greatest perfected altruistic virtues. The virtues that which has the meaning of bodhicitta, or great compassion. Each and every one of you, doing this for, as I mentioned this morning, some are for 40 years, 60 years doing that, whole life doing that. Then, morality of working for the welfare of sentient beings, each and every one of you, isn't it? At least you do this for your children. At least you do this for your parents. At least you You do this for definitely for your pets. Many of you have a dog, cat, definitely, without doubt. Pure one, very pure, pure ethical, working for the welfare of sentient being. Your dear cat, your dear dog, very, very pure. Yeah, you see. So already in a very high level of practice, you see, so much rejoice.